In the previous lesson, we explored why decision-making skills matter. We saw that decisions influence results, resources, relationships, trust, well-being, and future opportunities. We also learned that a choice may solve an immediate problem while creating consequences that appear only later. Decision-making is often discussed in a professional context. We hear about business decisions, management decisions, investment decisions, and strategic decisions. However, decision-making is not limited to the workplace. Personal life also contains complex choices involving money, time, relationships, emotions, responsibilities, and long-term consequences. In this lesson, we will examine how decisions appear in both work and personal life, and how different kinds of decisions require different levels of attention. Decisions are present in every area of life. Some decisions are repeated frequently. You may decide when to complete a routine task, what to prepare for dinner, or how to respond to a familiar request. Other decisions occur less often, but have much greater consequences. You may choose whether to accept a new position, relocate, begin an educational program, make a major purchase, or change an important personal commitment. These decisions differ in frequency, impact, uncertainty, and reversibility. They should not all receive the same amount of analysis. Spending several hours evaluating a minor routine choice may waste attention. Making a high-impact decision in a few careless minutes may create consequences that are difficult to correct. Effective decision-making, therefore, includes recognizing what kind of decision you are facing. Professional and personal decisions. Professional decisions are usually associated with formal goals, responsibilities, budgets, policies, customers, and organizational results. Personal decisions may appear less formal, but they can be equally complex. A workplace decision may involve financial cost and operational risk. A personal decision may combine financial cost with family relationships, emotional well-being, identity, daily routines, and future opportunities. The categories are also not completely separate. A personal relocation can affect employment. A professional promotion can affect family time. An educational decision can influence income, confidence, location, and relationships. One choice may therefore connect several areas of life. Routine, tactical, and strategic decisions. A useful way to understand decisions is to classify them by level. Routine decisions. Routine decisions are repeated and familiar. They often have limited consequences and can be supported by habits, rules, schedules, or simple criteria. Examples include choosing when to complete a regular household responsibility or deciding how to organize a familiar work task. Routine does not mean unimportant. Repeated routine choices can accumulate and shape larger results. Tactical decisions. Tactical decisions concern how plans, resources, and responsibilities should be organized over the medium term. They support a larger goal. For example, after deciding to move, a family may need to organize the moving date, budget, transportation, school registration, and division of responsibilities. These are tactical choices supporting a broader direction. Strategic decisions. Strategic decisions influence long-term direction. They usually involve greater uncertainty, commitment, and impact. Relocating to a different region, changing careers, purchasing a home, or launching a new organizational service can all be strategic decisions. Strategic choices affect not only current conditions, but also future options. Reversible and difficult to reverse decisions. Decisions can also be classified according to how easily they can be changed. A reversible decision can be tested, adjusted, or corrected without excessive cost or lasting consequences. Trying a different weekly routine is usually reversible. If it does not work, you can change it. A difficult-to-reverse decision creates stronger commitments. It may involve contracts, financial costs, relationships, relocation, or lost opportunities. This does not mean the choice can never be changed. It means that changing direction may be expensive, disruptive, or emotionally difficult. The less reversible a decision is, the more carefully its assumptions, consequences, and alternatives should usually be examined. A practical example. William plans a family relocation. William Anderson is coordinating a move to another district. The family needs more living space, and their current location creates several daily difficulties. At first, William treats the situation mainly as a housing decision. The plan appears straightforward. Compare available apartments and select the most suitable one. William begins looking at size, monthly cost, number of rooms, building condition, and general appearance. These factors are important. However, they represent only one part of the decision. William's initial understanding of the decision. William initially believes that finding a larger home at an acceptable price will solve the problem. This understanding is too narrow. The move will influence where the family spends time, how long people travel each day, which services they can access, and how existing routines may change. The family is not simply choosing an apartment, it is choosing a new pattern of daily life. The connected decisions inside the move. School is one important consideration. If the family moves farther away, the children may need to change schools. Remaining at the current school may preserve friendships and continuity, but it could create a difficult journey. Changing schools may reduce travel time, but introduce academic and emotional uncertainty. Commuting is another consideration. A larger and more affordable home may be located farther from work. The financial saving could be reduced by transportation costs and the value of time spent traveling. The family must also consider access to healthcare, shops, parks, public transportation, and relatives who provide occasional support. Moving costs and possible renovation expenses must be included. The emotional effect of leaving a familiar neighborhood also matters. These are not separate issues that can be ignored until after an apartment is selected. They are connected parts of the same larger decision. Why no option satisfies everyone completely? William identifies three realistic possibilities. One option provides more space but creates a longer commute. Another is near the current school and familiar services, but the monthly cost is significantly higher. A third is affordable and well-connected, but it offers less space than the family originally hoped to find. Different family members prefer different options. This does not mean that the decision process has failed. It means that the family has competing objectives. Important decisions often contain trade-offs. Greater space may require accepting a longer journey. A familiar neighborhood may require accepting a higher cost. Affordability may require reducing expectations about size. The task is not to find an imaginary option with every advantage and no disadvantage. The task is to decide which combination of benefits and limitations best supports the family's most important needs. A more effective decision-making approach. A stronger process begins by defining the purpose of the move. Is the primary goal additional space, lower cost, easier travel, better access to services, or improved long-term stability? The family can then separate essential requirements from preferences. An essential requirement might be a sustainable monthly cost. A preference might be an additional room that would be useful but is not absolutely necessary. William should identify all connected decisions before comparing properties. The family should also discuss which elements are reversible. Paint, furniture arrangements, and some daily routines can be changed relatively easily. Location, school access, long-term housing costs, and commuting patterns are more difficult to change. Family members should be consulted because they will experience the consequences. Consultation does not mean that every person will receive the option they prefer. It means that their needs and concerns are understood and considered fairly. Finally, William can establish clear criteria and compare the realistic options. Making trade-offs visible will help the family understand why one option is selected and what disadvantages they are consciously accepting. Decision-making in another personal context. Consider a recent university graduate deciding whether to live alone or share an apartment. Living alone may provide privacy and control, but it may cost more. Sharing may reduce expenses and provide social interaction, but it also requires compromise and shared responsibility. The graduate must consider location, flexibility, privacy, cost, household duties, and the expected length of the arrangement. This may be a tactical and reversible decision if the rental commitment is short. It could become more difficult to reverse if the contract is long or financially demanding. Common misunderstandings. Misunderstanding 1. Personal decisions are simpler than professional decisions. Personal choices can involve strong emotions, relationships, identity, and long-term commitments. They may be as complex as organizational decisions. Misunderstanding 2. Routine decisions have no significant impact. A single routine choice may have limited consequences, but repeated choices can shape finances, health, productivity, and relationships. Misunderstanding 3. Strategic decisions occur only in organizations. Individuals and families also make strategic decisions about careers, education, housing, finances, and future direction. Misunderstanding 4. Every important decision is irreversible. Many important choices can be tested or adjusted. Identifying reversible elements can reduce unnecessary fear. Misunderstanding 5. Agreement means everyone must prefer the same option. People can support a decision without considering it their ideal choice, especially when the process is fair and the reasons are clear. Misunderstanding 6. A good choice should satisfy every goal. Most significant decisions require trade-offs. Effectiveness comes from protecting the most important objectives, not satisfying every preference. Practical activity. Classify your current decisions. List 5 current or recent decisions. Classify each one as routine, tactical, or strategic. Then decide whether it is reversible or difficult to reverse. A decision may belong to more than one category. For each one, record its expected time horizon, the people affected, its likely impact, the cost of changing direction, the amount of analysis it deserves. This exercise will help you avoid overanalyzing minor choices and underanalyzing major ones. Lesson summary. In this lesson, we examined decisions in professional and personal life. We learned that decisions differ in frequency, impact, time horizon, uncertainty, and reversibility. Through William's family relocation, we saw that one large decision can contain several connected choices involving housing, education, commuting, finances, relationships, and daily routines. We also saw that important decisions rarely satisfy every objective equally. They require clear priorities and conscious trade-offs. 3 practical takeaways. Personal decisions can be as complex and consequential as professional decisions. Routine, tactical, and strategic decisions require different levels of analysis. The more difficult a decision is to reverse, the more carefully its goals, assumptions, and consequences should be examined. Reflective question. Which current decision are you treating as routine, even though it may have strategic or difficult to reverse consequences? Practical action step. Choose one current decision and classify it by level, time horizon, impact, and reversibility. Then decide whether the amount of analysis you have given it is appropriate. We now understand that decisions differ in type, importance, and reversibility. The next question is how we can evaluate the quality of the choice itself. In the next lesson, we will explore understanding different types of decisions.